It's been so long since we've seen Masaru's Tide, and I see the dad bot again. And I remember when we were haunted by the dad bot in literally every offlane that plays Tide in Southeast Asia. So it's just refreshing to see it again. It's refreshing to see it. Yeah. Dad bod Tide for Masaros. It's a great closer. Like you do have the Ricky against Batrider lane, which is super nice for Fearless. There are ways for Mamang Daya to kind of counteract it. It's still not the easiest lane. You've got this Tide Hunter Void combo. So Ravage plus Chrono, insane team fight control, insane follow-up from Leonax Elder Titan. You can just get that Earth Splitter off, get a lot of damage going through. Issue here for MG.Trust is cooldowns. They've got to play around Chrono, play around Ravage. These are fairly long timers, but Motivate.Trust is a team that does play around timers really well. We've seen them do this a couple times in BTS Pro Series 3 and 4. So I think they just need to kind of pull back, remember what they did before, about half a year ago, and just replicate that playstyle. Should work out. For Army Geniuses, like they do have some decent presence coming through. They've got Wami's Timbersaw, which is, again, really great. They've got some solid combinations with stuns with a Raid King and Snap. They've got great scaling with a Raid King and Ricky. The issue is kind of finding space for the Ricky and the Raid King to farm up. Now, we have seen Ricky's go really quick. Like double Wraith Band, Orb of Corrosion, and Ricky can actually do damage. So we need to see that from Mamang Daya here. He needs to take an active stand in the game, get space out for the Raid King. Maybe once the Radiance is up, you can start thinking about further optimization on that Ricky. But you will have to make that space out for the Raid King, as the Raid King can show up early, but ideally you slow down and try to build up. And I love this coming out.
MY gang.
Why is DB? Why is he bringing out the Filipino? There's no Filipino here.
Isn't there,
well,
Jonathan?
except me, Sana all.
Yep.
Just one.
Giving you a shout out. Speaking of shout outs, by the way, it's been a while since we're talking about MY gang. Shout out to my pro Dota. Of course, it's been too long since we've shouted out the poor man, but I'm sure it's his birthday today, and hopefully we see him around sometime, John.
Yeah, happy birthday to my pro Dota 10. Check out his Facebook as well. My pro Dota 10, I believe, is also the Facebook name. Yep. Here in MY gang, we respect MY gang. That's literally the guild line. So there you go.
There you go. By the way, apparently people are in our Twitch chat, John, are starting predictions on whether I'm going to start the predictions now. So things aren't looking too bright for me. I have gotten the predictions started though, so joke's on you. If you voted, no. I've got to find something to do with the channel points as well. I haven't put any rewards up yet, John. I'll come up with some ideas, would you? Bit too busy tonight.
Yeah, we'll try to take one up. Still a bit of a scuffle over the rebound here.
A big scuffle, John. They're fighting into an Elder Titan, and that's Leonac on that Elder Titan. That is a very risky place to try and fight for Army Geniuses. They'll back off eventually. Still a very risky kind of rune to go for there, and well, it will mean Motivate.Trust do start 3-1 in terms of bounties.
Sets up, gives you some early access to regen if you want. This lane coming out from MG.Trust up top is pretty scary. You get the Astral Spirit off, you get some good right-click damage on Leonac. Masaros gets off the Gush. Suddenly the right-clicks are just insane. And Raid King is surprisingly soft. Just 2 armor, and here it goes.
DB, he's going to try and run. Leonac, just dive him. No. I thought he would literally just go for the dive in the tier 1 tower with the bonus movement speed. He is running at 390 right now with the Astral Spirit, but looks like he won't go for it. He'll rather just leave DB on very low HP, and quite frankly, that can be even more effective, right? Just burning through the regen, keeping DB low, and of course, Masaros tends to be very aggressive on the Tide if he does see an opening. It can make it very hard for DB to feel comfortable to move in for those last hits.
Yeah, and should cut you off here. I mean, you've got some potency with UK turning up in the lane. So you've got, once the levels are up, you've got Raid Fire Blast plus the Cookie for chain stuns. You just have to respect the throughput of Leonac. As long as the Astral Spirit's out, he will out-damage you at this point in the game. And again, you have to remember, Raid King only has 2 armor to start with. So Gush is going to drop you in the negatives, and that just means Leonac can really attempt to run you down. Even the Snapfire having a bit more armor than Raid King is not good for DD.
He's just got a DD rune now. Leonac just going to rush forward with 422 movement speed and a DD rune. Gonna wear off eventually, but it's just such a hard laning matchup here for Army Geniuses. We'll have a look at the other lanes though as well. Of course, mid lane, you've got Fearless there up against Mamang Daya. Mamang Daya gonna have to really be careful about when he uses those tricks to the trade and the Blink Strike. You will need them to try and get away from all this sticky napalm spam of Fearless, especially if he does end up popping the Firefly. At least for now though, Mamang Daya is ahead in terms of CS, so he's having a decent enough time. Top lane, Leonak ends up dropping very low on the Elder Titan, but looks like he will be able to salve up.
No, just trying to get his body in front of those two heroes is really what you want to do. He's not really punished for it, and you're perfectly fine in that situation for your pause 4. And again, you're still seeing Masaros take this lane over, slightly ahead in last hits, but not by much. When you close in to last hit for DB, you have to deal with the anchor smash now, and it's just not a fun lane for DB overall, so have to keep watching that spacing. Going to the last lane we haven't looked out down, but you've got Jackie, of course, on his Faceless Void, and Sahir Jackie loves. Q, though, is dropping low here.
He is. LYM should definitely have a kill here, but Q is going to try and go for a bit of a run. Jackie going to try and help out. LYM won't be able to chase much further, and Q now has salved up. Spike out. Jackie, where's the bashes? Still no bash. My goodness, he's hit so many times. LYM just not copping a bash. Time walk in a few seconds, but this is a lot of time Jackie's not going to be farming. Not sure how worth it is. It's another hit without a bash. That's at least 10 hits now without a bash. LYM, he's going to get the courier of Jackie, and Jackie has the TP. He's losing too many creeps.
Yeah, that's a ton of space coming out from LYM. He is very happy with just what happened there. Wami gets some space to keep climbing up, get some solo EXP as well. This is a melee lane into Timb, so you can jump off the damage, but time walk cooldown is very long. You have to watch yourself.
It's going to be a lot of damage. Liana, he's probably going to go for the chase, but a very nice block there from UK. Going to make sure he can't move much more forward. They're just consistently keeping DB very low in terms of HP, but he does have a salve available there from UK, and going to keep maintaining himself in this lane. Every lane basically going pretty well for both sides. I'd say it's evening out quite nicely. DB, stop out. Leonak going to move forward again, but a nice cookie in. They're going to try and turn now. Leonak getting very low. Can he drop? He does. UK able to pick up the first blood. Matsuros going to try and keep up the chase. He will get DB in the end. At the very least, your first blood goal did go the way of Army Geniuses, but I think for Motivate.Trust, they'll still probably be pretty satisfied knowing they got the Wraith King.
Yeah, it's a big kill. You do get the first blood gold injection, so it's worth slightly more for AG, but losing Wraith King's never good news. Masaros is going to have a level advantage on top of that. Level 5 on the Tide, level 4 still on the Wraith King. So you're having even more damage, even more pressure here from Masaros. And while all of that was happening, there was a little move here coming out from LYM. LYM went into the jungle, cleared out the small camp stack, and that just really hurts the Batrider. Right? He jumped in from the mid-tier 2 when he was chased down into the jungle, clears it out, so you don't have that camp to go back to for Fearless. Mamang Daya is now slightly ahead again, especially with the denies. This is going to feel good for the Riki, and all things considered, he's not really zoned out. He's still farming up on Riki. He's going to hit that double Wraith Band timing, or at least the Power Tread Wraith Band, perhaps looking for the Orb of Corrosion. And again, once you hit that on a Riki, you can actually show up and do some damage in your lanes.
Let's spike out Wami. He's been dominating the bot lane now. Not so much in terms of CS, but in terms of harass, he's doing a great job at keeping Jackie very low. He's going to try again. Jackie forced to use that time dilation, and Fearless even going to rotate up on the Batrider, but he's not going to make it in time to punish Wami. Looks like Wami may have spotted that. No, in fact, he hasn't. Fearless is going to try and move in now with the Earth Spike out. They do have the lasso. They will have to commit it for this, but they are waiting. Wami still trying to run. Fearless still being very greedy and won't actually need the lasso, as it looks like Wami was out of mana, so he couldn't chain away. Didn't want to pop the Soul Ring either, as I guess he would have just burnt out too fast. Meanwhile, top lane, however, Mamang Daya makes the rotation up towards the top lane and does at least get a trade on Leonak.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Really nice kill to take, so mid's finding the successful rotations a bit better here for MG.Trust, because you kill off the Timbersaw, a much more high priority kill. But you can see Mamang Daya just opting to start to be aggressive early on. Is actually still going to rush the Diffusal. So we'll see if he gets the space out to farm that up. It looks like they might have to sack Wami's farm. Despite him having that smooth enough laning start, the jungle is going to be taken over here by Wraith King and Riki. So you're not going to have that area to recover. You're going to have to play in the lanes, take the front line, force responses out, which is generally what you want in the Timbersaw anyway. And we'll just have to see if Mamang Daya can hit that defusal timing. Looks like it's lining up fairly nicely. Still up there in last hits, up there in net worth as well. So the Riki is having that smooth start you'd want it to, and so far very
Jackie, Mamang Daya, solo kill off the Void. No smoke screen up either. He just got the kill. I'm guessing Jackie. Oh, all right. I guess I'm alone then. Army Geniuses. I'm not sure how they got the Void Spirit there. Excuse me, rather the Void, but there you go. I suppose Jackie's Time Walk was on cooldown, and hopefully John's all right. That sounded like a pretty big earthquake. So, find out soon. I'm sure John will let me know. Everything is all right over there in the Philippines, and of course, if you are in the Philippines, please do stay very safe. So I have been hearing the earthquakes can get very serious over there. So 2-3 right now, less than 1k net worth lead for Army Geniuses. LYM hanging around that mid lane on the Enchantress. Wants to set up on Jackie. Q is going to be around, however, to kind of cut off this rotation and get a nice little D ward off.
All right, I'm back, Mr. Mike. Earthquake wasn't too bad. We're okay. We're okay. Pretty strong.
Panicked there for a second, John. You just kind of ran off on me.
It was a pretty strong wave, not gonna lie. Like my PC actually shut, so had to go out just to be safe. But we're fine. We're back. We've got more important things like Dota to handle here. 2-3 so far at the 8 and 9-minute mark. Less than 1k lead coming out for AG. They are hitting those farm spikes. We're seeing really good movement coming through from Mamang Daya. Defusal again it's just coming up a bit quicker than you'd want. I think MG. Motivate.Trust have not really pressured Mamang Daya in that early game. Laning has been fine. He is 2 levels ahead of Fearless now. Fearless is just kind of trying to cut the wave and farm up, but he's being rotated on by 3 heroes.
That he is. Mamang Daya, he's going to be right in. Flame Break is there, but another Blink Strike. Fearless. Look at the minus armor from UK. It's just so much minus armor with that little shredder. On the brighter side for MG.Trust, however, DB is going to be in danger. And does go down to the Wraith King. And I'll tell you what, John, this brings back some memories from MG.Trust last year. Well, we saw if the mid lane and the safe lane struggles, you can always kind of guarantee that Masaros is still going to have a pretty good lane. And you're seeing it right now on that tide. Top of the net worth board. We've seen him on this hero before when he plays like this. And with DB, he has not been able to keep up whatsoever.
Yep, that's one issue right now. Masaros is very farmed up, tied up there with Mamang Daya, in fact surpassing the Riki by about 200 gold. So you do have a hero to play with here. You've got some timings to run around with. I think the thing for Motivate.Trust right now is that they've got Chrono and Ravage, they haven't used it. Whereas for AG, they just run around the map and get kills.
They found another Q, going to go down Fearless. As Lasso is going to throw it out onto Wami. The Timber going to drop quite fast, and he will not even try to run. Accepts the fact that he is going to die as MTG now want to go for a bit more. They have the Chrono up, but they aren't going to be able to immediately find anyone. And of course, Jackie isn't going to waste too much time. Going to have to try and catch up in farm as Mamang Daya is getting a little bit too far ahead on this Riki. It's mid lane. LYM could be in a spot of danger, but a nice cookie out. Healer's still going to chase him down, however. Stop is there, and LYM. He's definitely gone.
Say, Enchantress, you are spunky.
It's a nice little pick off, not the biggest kill. You do have Masaros starting to invade that jungle a bit, getting some of those small stacks, not the biggest stacks. You are having DB just farm the upper side of the triangle. And this is where it can get a bit dicey. You're trading farm across your course. Now, Jackie is ahead of DB. That means DB is not quite using, well, not able to use his skeletons in a big way. And up top,
and Mamang Daya, he's going to be in big danger. Fearless, he's around with the firefight, with the flame break, and with the finger. It's going to be much more than enough. And that's a very important kill to get, right? Like, Mamang Daya is having such a good time in this game, number 1, and you really want to shut the Riki down, because it is a very momentum-based hero. It does get everything it wants. It's going to make the game very tough for the Radiant side.
Yeah, it's the kill they needed. They needed to slow down that defusal timing. It should still line up nicely, but that kill was just something they needed to do. Take down that Ricky a peg. Finally get to use the finger out. That's the first finger for Q. We still haven't seen a Ravage in Chrono, although there's a Ravage.
Ross, there is a Ravage, but he is very low in terms of HP. Wami should be able to finish the job and does. Jackie, though, has Chrono. Might just commit on UK here. Try and get some damage output first on the Snapfire, and do you want to commit Jackie? Yeah, he does. He wants the easy kill.
Your page
A lot of people might laugh at that, but when you've got Chrono this early on, you just want to commit it, and you want to get any kill you can get on this Void, and just get back to farming.
Yep, and it's perfectly fine. He's been holding onto the Chrono for such a long time. He does not want to join these bigger team fights, so you managed to make use of it. There are some good stacks being built up here by MG.Trust now in that triangle. Leonak just doing great work with the Astral Spirit, so he has recovery farm to dip into, and that's where he can spend the next 2 minutes while waiting for that next Chrono. In fact, Fearless looks like he's just gonna take this, rush that Blink, a huge set of stacks, but this will take some time because of the nerfs to Sticky Napalm. It still burns fast enough.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Fast as before, but it's still nice.
Takes some time, he says. Look at this.
Bounced.
Yep. Very balanced. Fearless, he'll take the stack. Much closer to the Blink Dagger now. Looking back over to DB on the Wraith King, you kind of have a look back at that net worth, John, and it's a bit depressing here for DB. Mind you, of course, the Wraith King can farm up very quickly with the skeletons, but he is going for the Radiance Rush to boot, and it's going to take a while. Like, you're looking at least another few minutes before you have that Radiance up. Maybe once it's up, you can start being aggressive, but before that point, DB, he's just going to hang out in the jungle and just keep the farm up.
Yeah, he's not being pressured too much in the jungle. The one issue here is that, well, the rest of his team is also kind of playing the farm game. Mamangdaya does have his defusal flying out now, so Ricky can take the front line, maybe play with that Timbersaw. We do manage to clear the bot tier 1 here with Wami. We do get some map opened up. MTG still looking for their first tower to take, are lining up top to trade to be able to take that one out. They do have Ravage up in about 20 seconds, Chrono in about 40, so they could maybe look for a rotation, but the mid is being eyed here by Mamangdaya.
Masaros can be targeted. They're just motoring out. He's going to try and run, but he is not quite tanky enough to deal with that kind of damage output. Now Q came in. An immediate hoof stomp out from the Centaur that was enchanted from LYM, and just great play from Army Geniuses.
Oh yeah, they read one that super cleanly. They had a good rotation in the backline. They take the mid tower now. So the bot's cleared out, they trade our top, but they take the mid on top of it. Opens up the triangle, opens up that bot jungle. AG can now start denying farm coming in from MTG, and they need a lot more to play with. Jackie, he's doing well on the Void. He's ahead of the Wraith King, but you're not at the point where the Void feels great. And Mamangdaya?
Oh, they're looking down Jackie by the tier 2 tower, and that's going to be a bit too much for them to dive, at least for now. Jackie just trying to desperately get that farm up. Still just only has the Mask of Madness and has actually fallen behind the Wraith King. So DB, in that time, has caught up very efficiently, and again, with the skeletons up, he is going to be able to out-farm the Void. That's for sure. MTG just not feeling quite comfortable enough to try and really make a play across the map yet, it seems. They're really just playing quite defensively.
And it's a bit of a missed opportunity when you have these big teamfight spells. When you have Ravage and Chrono in particular, you kind of do want to use them every time they're up. And even though you're farming like this, which is kind of efficient farming coming out from Jackie, you still want to use those spells. Like, just the Mom alone should be enough. They do smoke up on MTG side without the Void, but just having Ravage might be enough here.
UK. Very careful. No, they want the Ricky, and they will get the lasso off immediately. They will just blow him up. Mamangdaya, he is gone. UK now going to get spotted by Masaros, and he's going to try for the TP. Jackie? No, you'll get the Hex anyway.
Oh, part of the plan.
Thought they might need a bash there, but of course Q was around with the Hex, and there's the two very nice pickups now for Motivate.Trust.
You put the Ricky down, you managed to get Masaros back up. The farm distribution here is really even. Look at that graph. Basically dead even between Masaros all the way up to Jackie. Only a 600 swing from top to bottom. So this game's on a razor's edge. One big team fight could turn the tides here, but at the same time, you're reaching DB's spike. He's been allowed to free farm the Radiance. He has the Sacred Relic up. Only about 600 gold off the Radiance recipe. So once he has that, he can definitely join in, help his rookie out in these fights, and start to force some big issues here.
Top lane, and Chan is going to be there. He'll try to flame break them away, and he does have help coming in, but it looks like he is going to drop still. Masaros will move forward. Mamangtaya with the silence out. Now the Earth Spike going to save the day into the stop, and they have the Ravage. They might be able to turn. They're going to hold down for now. Jackie, he'll go on to LYM. Instead, now Chrono is out. They've got Mamangtaya, and that's the one you want. You want that Ricky down ASAP, and they will be able to get him into Wami now. Maybe a bit of a harder target to get. I think even if you leave with just the Ricky kill, you're going to be very, very satisfied with that as MG.Trust.
Yep, it's a big one to take. You trade out the Batrider, but at this point it feels like the Ricky's more important. They might find a freebie in LYM.
It looks like they will. Stomp out. Mortimer's Kisses going to try and help LYM. Q doesn't have the finger, so you don't have that magic damage output that you need. But here comes Fearless. He'll be all the magic damage they do need. It's now a big Ravage out. Masaros does land it on 3, and they will just chase them down. Jackie even joining his team. LYM, he's going to try and TP, but a first hit bashes out from Jackie. And I guess that makes up for before.
Oh yeah, it's nice set of kills coming out. They kind of overstayed their welcome there on AG. They don't respect the Ravage. They clump up. They did not have their big chorus in a really good spot. And Wami kind of reveals his Lotus Orb there as well, but doesn't really get too much done. So MTG going to be very happy with finally using the Chrono and Ravage fairly close together. Now they need to sit back, just farm, wait until those spells are back up, and rinse and repeat. For AG, Radiance is up on DB, but he needs a little bit more farm before he's ready. So it's still down to Mamangtaya and everyone else to keep throwing their bodies forward, keep forcing aggression, get a response out. This is the time for them to fight with these cooldowns on, but they're kind of just forced to sit back and keep farming up for now.
Maybe he's going to keep the farm up very nicely here on the Wraith King.
Oh!
But Jackie does build up to try and counter this out, though. For now, he's just going into the Yarshan, try to get that SNY up. Probably just try and be patient with that Chrono and wait out the first life of DB, but it's going to get much harder as the farm comes up. AG having a gander in mid lane. They're going to make the jump in. Mamangtaya, he's there with the smoke screen, and Jackie, he's just going to get ripped apart. Very nice play there from Army Geniuses. They will start heading into the bot lane. And I'll tell you what, John, with the way this game's going now, Army Geniuses, they are looking very good to take game 1.
Yep, they've got that early aggression lined up. They've got the spike for the Raid King ready. And the Radiance just means that he is going to really cause issues, especially for that Faceless Void. The mischance kind of hurts your DPS there. And you need a lot more in that Void. And you're going to need a BKB now on Jackie. Like, he's not safe from that smoke screen. Unless support maybe gets a Force Staff to just take him out of it ASAP. Before that point, it's going to be tough. And you need to have someone else up in front. 2k lead, 3k lead up now for Army Geniuses. Take over the jungle. Bot 2-2 faults. They can immediately just take over this bot jungle entirely and just shut out even more farm from the side of MTG. MTG, again, Jackie needs a lot more farm. Fearless is already rushing that BKB on the Batrider. And once you have that, you're safer to jump in. You don't care about the smoke screen, which is big. But they need to keep going back to that playstyle. Try to hunt down Mamangtaya. Try to hunt down Wami before he gets even more items up. He, again, with the load slow, and he's already annoying enough. Once he's allowed to tank up even more, that could be very detrimental, as he's just going to toss his body forward and the Ricky follows up. With the kisses in the background can be painful. Still, smoke out from MTG. They do have Lasso at the ready, along with Fingers, so they can go for that burst play again.
Absolutely. SNY up now on Jackie as well, if they want to get him involved. But for now, they're going to run into UK, it looks like. And, well, there's your Firefly into the Lasso. They just want a nice, easy kill on that Snapfire, and they might just get it. Oh, UK. Cookie away, but Masaros, he's in. He'll clean up. That'll be it. Not quite the kill you would have liked, I guess. You would have probably preferred a core like the Ricky or the Timber, but you take what you can get.
death's
Yep, you're not
bounty.
going to be too disappointed. You only commit lasso, so you still have finger ready on Q for any other target. And you're at the point where you've got the Force Staff on Masaros, so it's a bit safer now for Jackie, even though he doesn't have a BKB. If he does get smoke screened, Force Staff out, your face is void, he's going to time walk off the damage, and maybe look for that chrono angle. Complicates the initiation for Army Geniuses. They're going to have to be a lot more cautious. Maybe they have to catch out Masaros first before he can use that Force Staff. The issue is, you catch him in smoke, he can just Force Staff out as well, and he can purge off your stuns with his Kraken Shell. So your burst damage has to be, your stuns have to be staggered really well on something like that. Tide, I'm wondering what they go for next on DB. It looks like he is going for a BKB into the AC, typical Wraith King build. No blink. The DB's just going to have to run forward every single time for these fights. And for the most part, we haven't actually seen DB join these fights, so he's just been sitting back farming.
Oh, we've had 2 disconnections, and suddenly your voice is cut. Oh, 4 disconnections. 5 disconnections. My goodness. And I believe John's internet may have... John, are you there? All right, there you go. So everyone's just out, including my my analyst. Apparently, John might be part of the Army Geniuses side. So we do have the reconnections now coming in. Because judging by the fact that there was just a bit of an earthquake where John is, I assume maybe the internet lines are down, or... Well, actually, his internet lines were already down. Maybe it's the mobile data now. My goodness. Luckily for us, Army Geniuses, they are going to slowly but surely reconnect. Allow us to get underway with the game very soon. There you go. OIM's back now. The go-ahead. Because Army Genius is still 2k in the lead. Still looking very good in this game number 1. DB top the net worth board now, the Wraith King. Feeling a lot more confident than he did about 10 minutes ago. Because Jackie try and farm up towards that Eye of Skadi now on that Void, but even with the chrono up, he's definitely not quite ready to fight. Unless his team finds a very advantageous kind of team fight for them. Still going to be quite a task to try and get through the 2 lives of DB. And I like the fact that he's immediately rushing for the AC to have that bonus armor. Make it a lot harder to even burst him down through the first life. Get the BKB up first though, just to ensure he doesn't get bursted by the lion
Dire's
damage.
middle tower is under attack.
Or the Elder Titan as well. Well, a bit of a lull period. The pings are coming up for that mid-tier 1 tower now for Motivate. Army Geniuses just going to hang around. Make sure it does remain up, and of course that is buying them more space in the map to farm, but DB, very aggressive kind of run in to the triangle of the Radiant. Thing is, nobody wants to fight him right now. DB's going to be left alone to farm here. Motivate will respect him, at least for now, but here comes Masaros. For a quick anchor smash, there's just stun out. DB wants to start a team fight. Wami right in into the backside onto Leona, onto Lianak, but is it going to be enough? There's the Earth Spike out now. Mamandai is in. Lasso there onto the Ricky. Jackie still has the chrono. There's your Ravage. The Ricky already down. Wami gonna chain out. DB has kind of been left behind. Instead, they'll go on to LYM. In fact, never mind that. They want UK on the Snapfire. UK slowly but surely going to get burnt down by Fearless and does eventually die, and Jackie is able to get LYM. They just ignored the Wraith King altogether, knowing they probably couldn't get through the 2 lives of DB. But that's just one way to win the team fight, is aim everybody else and just leave DB there to not really do much. And now... Hello, John.
We'll need a 3 kings.
There is DB. He's going to move in and try to fight this one out. Onto the line, they will burst down Q. The buyback, though, is going to be immediate. Army Geniuses still just going to posture around the Roshan pit. Hit out that Roshan. DB wants to go back in. There is still Chrono up, don't forget. But they are fighting without Ravage now, MG.Trust. That Roshan, not going to take too long here for DB and Mamang Daya. Fearless, no lasso either. Might need to make the jump in soon, and they are going to move. There's your Chrono out. Who they got? They've got everybody but Mamang Daya. He got the... I don't know how he got a jump, but he got it somehow. I believe it was the tricks of the trade. He jumped out, and he managed to pick up the Aegis, and now Jackie's going to try and run, but he will go down. So he tricks the trades. The Chrono's on target. But as he comes out, he must have just spam-clicked the Aegis.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Wow.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Oh, lasso out, but Sleeping Dart, no, going to be cancelled off by the BKB. Back in onto the Wraith King underneath the tier 4 towers. It's a very awkward position here for DB, but he just BKBs up right into Q on Leonak and will burst them down. Mangdaya even trying to go after Masaros, but the buyback's going to force them back now. Army Geniuses, they don't want to throw this lead away. Currently 6k ahead. They are just going to back. Mangdaya, he'll hold on to the Aegis as well, and it's a really nice retreat for Army Geniuses because they just waste the buyback of the of Leonak on the Elder Titan, and
Hey, where did I go?
of course you can always just go back in before that Aegis does expire. Definitely a pretty big win here for AG.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Something?
That Sleeping Dart onto Masaros. They're not going to initiate onto the Tide. They'll just take some towers and back off again. Still no need to rush here for Army Geniuses. They know the Ravage, Lasso, and Chrono are all up now. You've got to be very careful about
Radiant's
that.
top tower is under attack.
But as long as you control the map like this, you're not going to mind just backing off as Army Geniuses. Like, you're still a Wraith King into a Faceless Void, so you are going to inadvertently kind of just out-carry Jackie. Speaking of, Jackie is going to drop Mamang Daya setting up there with Wami. That is not a great sign for MG.Trust.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's courier has been killed.
Going to start moving up again before that Aegis does expire. Army Geniuses would love to get themselves a Rax and DB. He's going to frontline here on the Wraith King. Stop, not going to be on target. Still the lasso is. They will pull him back behind the tier 4 towers again. And this time around, with your Ravage and Chrono, it's going to be much harder to help out DB. There's your Chrono out, Jackie. He will play no games.
Radiant's top tower.
Eventually DB will be forced to just die in the enemy base. Army Geniuses, even with the Aegis up on Mamang Daya, just don't want to go for the dive. They'll leave the Wraith King to die. What? What? The Dire? But he's on the Dire. How does... But he's on the Dire. How does the Dire kill...
Money changes hands.
Gaben? So the Dire Tower killed DB, but he's a Dire hero. Yeah, right. I know, I'm looking at it right now, Chop.
Death comes in threes.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Wami's gonna move in. Leonak gonna be spotted. He might just be dead instantly.
Dominating!
It's just way too much damage on Wami with the flamethrower. And of course the whirling death. For Motivate.Trust, I mean, we've seen them come back from so many games. Over and over again. And they're not really that far behind either. I mean, it's a 6k net worth lead at 31 minutes. No Rax is down yet, but Army Geniuses, it is still their game to throw here. So, it's quite a hard one to throw as well. I'd say hard, but Fearless dragging you into the tier 4 towers is quite detrimental, so maybe not so hard to throw. But it's Lasso gonna be on the snap by. They just want to get rid of this hero immediately. Can they make something out of this though?
A bit rare.
It's a decent enough kill on UK, but can you get objectives? Can you play for anything on the map? MG Trust, they're gonna move back into their own jungle. So it looks like it's just to open up the map a bit more, get Jackie some more farming space, which he desperately does need right now because he is 5k behind DB, and maybe even find that mid-tier 1 tower.
Time is money.
DG gonna move in again through the mid lane.
Haste.
Ravage, Chrono both up, but you don't have... Well, you have Lasso in 2 seconds. DB Gonna be targeted. There's your first lasso into the Shiver's Guard of Masteros and DB. He's gonna try and fight this one out, and it doesn't look like it's gonna be too hard either, as he's a pretty tanky boy. Back on a Fearless, they will get the Bat Rider first, and now you'd love to kill off Jackie, but the Chrono, the turnaround from the high ground. But where's your damage output? He's gonna try him among Daya. They'll get the Ricky first, back into the Wraith King, but DB, he still has that reincarnation. And Fearless, he's gonna try and run. Jackie's gonna come back in. DB still being targeted here, but again, he is a pretty tanky guy.
Radiant's top tower is under
Mookie,
attack.
not gonna land, but they would love a dieback on the Bat Rider, and they're gonna be able to get it. Fearless, he is gone for another 100 seconds. They are chasing for more here, Army Geniuses. It looks like that's gonna be enough, but surely you go high ground from this.
Roshan has fallen to the ground.
Find me now.
DB, straight back through the mid lane. Still 30 seconds without Fearless up. There is definitely an opportunity to at least get that tier 3 tower, which is already quite low in terms of HP. Now, it looks like that's going to be the game plan here by Army Genius as they rush in, but the glyph is going to be popped into a stomp. With Leonak on that Elder Titan, the high ground defense is not too bad.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Sleeping Dart. Some Masteros, Mamang Daya. Not going to jump in. Instead, they're going to play it safe and go for that mid-rax. Fearless is coming back up, however. They've got to be careful. Another Sleeping Dart out. Gonna stun up Masteros, but there's your lasso. The rack still not down. Back into the tier 4 towers. DB is gonna try and run, but a big lasso, or rather Ravage, is there from Masteros. Wami trying to take the damage, but DB, he will lose his first life.
Radiant's middle.
Jackie, no chrono for another 10 seconds. Army Geniuses, they might be able to go for more now, knowing those ultis are down. Jackie, still waiting for that chrono. He's going to have it up very, very soon. Earth Spike is there onto Wami, but the turnaround. Jackie, there's your chrono now. Back on the DB, but DB, he is very, very tanky. The Sleeping Dart. Gonna put Jackie to sleep in the middle of the chrono. Mamang Daya back in onto Leonak. Can they get the Titan? Yeah, they can. Onto Masteros. They will get the tie back. And Jackie, he is not safe either. He's gonna try and run. Instead, they'll secure Q instead.
Please!
They'll get him. Fearless.
My rage returns.
Gonna try and move back in.
Radiant's top
Army
tower
Geniuses
is
gonna focus down the
Radiant's
objectives.
top tower has fallen.
That'll be the top racks gone as well now. Motivate.Trust. 2 racks is down, and it's looking very tough for them, John. In fact, they might go for a third now. Without Masteros up, you haven't got that tanky frontliner.
Bottom tower is under attack.
With no chrono, how do you fight this?
Tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Lasso. They've only got LYM there on the lasso. They'll take the Enchantress, but it's going to be Mega Creeps coming up for Army Geniuses. They just kind of take what they can get. Mamang Daya now looking to come back in with the Sleeping Dart setup. And the smoke screen. Jackie, big trouble here on the Void, but he's going to be forced staffed away. The stomp out, maybe they could turn onto Mamang Daya, but no, there's the Mortimer's Kisses in. Q doesn't really want to die back right now. We'll back off to the fountain. These Sleeping Darts from Mamang Daya proving to be very effective as they jump back in onto Fearless, and they'll get the Bat Rider again.
Radiant's middle tower is
No
under attack.
buyback. Onto the tier 4 towers they go. Jackie, he's going to try and slow this down.
Radiant's middle
Still no
tower
chrono for another 40 seconds. It's looking very tough for him, but he's going to try. Now Masaros, Ravage in 2. This could be the last team fight though, as the stop does fly out. Masaros, commit this Ravage. Mamangdaya trying to back with the Aegis, does manage to get out, but Jackie will finish off the Aegis. Now the secondary line, back on a UK, and there's your Ravage up, connecting on 3. They will be able to kill off Mamangdaya now, back into DB. Can you get the Wraith King? He's a bit tankier now with the overwhelming blink, but they are going to try. He'll try to man fight instead, however. LYM there with Wami, a big cookie out from UK. They'll continue to try. Leonak is going to get dropped. DB with a big crit out, back onto the backside. He goes after Q now. The Lion going to force stuff out for DB with the Radiance. Might just get him, and there's a stun out anyway. They will be able to kill him off. Jackie, he is still trying to get it done by himself, but there's your GG well played call. They realize they cannot get it done. And Army Geniuses, John, what a way to start this series with game 1. Going to the way of AG.